You know that feeling when everyone around you is miserable about the cold and you are genuinely fine? While your friends are researching flights to somewhere warm, you are already excited about spending a third consecutive day at home in comfortable clothes, doing absolutely nothing you did not choose to do. If that sounds familiar, here is something worth knowing. You might be neurologically wired to experience winter differently from most people, and there is nothing wrong with that. You are simply built for a different season. Here is what rarely gets said out loud. People who love winter are not just tolerating the cold better than everyone else. Something genuinely different is happening in their brains, and the research actually supports this. So today, we are getting into why some of us authentically love the season that sends everyone else into a spiral. Because there is considerably more happening here than a preference for heavy blankets. Start with the most basic question. Why does staying home feel so much better in winter than in summer? Not just acceptable, not just fine, genuinely, deeply satisfying in a way that is hard to fully explain. Here is what is happening neurologically. When it is cold and hostile outside and warm and quiet inside, your brain is processing what psychologists call contrast effect comfort. Your nervous system is registering the gap between the threatening environment beyond the window and the safe space you are occupying. Every glance at the dark, frozen world outside triggers a small release of satisfaction chemicals. You are sheltered. You are warm. You made the right call. Summer cannot produce this. In summer, staying inside carries a cost. The weather is pleasant, people are out, and there is a low-grade social pressure coming through your windows like ambient guilt. Your brain codes staying home as avoidance. You are seeing something good. In winter, you are not avoiding anything. You are selecting the objectively better option. The internal math resolves differently. There is also a concept in environmental psychology called refuge appeal. Human beings are wired to find enclosed, protected spaces more satisfying when there is a perceived threat outside. And evolutionarily, winter was a genuine threat. So when you are wrapped up indoors while it is freezing outside, your brain is not labeling that as laziness. It is releasing a quiet dopamine reward because you successfully found shelter from a dangerous environment. Your most ancient instincts are being satisfied, and the activities align with the energy. Reading, films, cooking, existing horizontally under something warm. These are low-stimulation, high-comfort pursuits that do not demand performance. They do not require you to be on. For introverts in particular, this alignment is close to perfect. You are not working against the season. You are moving with it. Now here is a question. Do you feel sharper in winter, more focused, more creative, like your thinking actually works better? There is a reason for that. Winter functions as a natural habitat for introverted nervous systems, and the mechanism is specific. Social expectations shift completely. In summer, not being visibly out there, attending events, posting evidence of activity, being enthusiastically available, carries a social penalty. The culture has collectively decided that summer equals engagement, equals being around people, and for introverts, sustaining that for months is genuinely draining. It is 3 months of the world implicitly telling you that your preferred way of existing is incorrect. Winter dissolves all of that. Cannot make it. It is too cold outside. Staying in tonight. No explanation required. No judgment offered. Winter provides social cover for lifestyle you wanted the whole time. You are not antisocial. You are simply responding sensibly to the conditions. Research also indicates that introverts show higher sensitivity to external stimulation generally. Bright light, heat, loud environments, crowded outdoor spaces. These are all conditions that drain an introverted nervous system faster than an extroverted one. Winter reduces stimulation at the source. Shorter days mean softer light. Cold temperatures mean fewer people outside. Everything gets quieter, darker, and more subdued. For a brain that is already processing the world at high intensity, winter is the equivalent of finally lowering the volume. And here is something the research makes clear. Cognitive performance peaks in cooler environments. The optimal temperature range for focused thinking sits around 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, cooler than most people assume. In winter, you are more likely to hit that range naturally. Your brain is not diverting resources to manage your body temperature, so more of its capacity is available for actual thought. This is why winter is often when people finally read the books they have been putting off, or complete the projects that stalled in August. Here is the take that tends to make people uncomfortable. The darkness is not the problem. It might actually be the point. Every winter, the same message gets circulated. The early darkness is harmful, depressing, something to endure, and seasonal affective disorder is real. It affects roughly 5% of people significantly and deserves to be taken seriously. But for the majority, and especially for people who genuinely love winter, something else is happening when the sun goes down at 4:30. Early darkness creates a natural endpoint to the day. Your circadian rhythm aligns with the environment. There is no guilt about slowing down at 7 in the evening because your body is already telling you the day is done. Compare that to summer, when daylight at night generates a persistent low-level pressure to remain productive, to keep going, to justify the remaining light. You end up fighting your own biology to stay awake long enough to experience darkness. Winter darkness also produces what researchers describe as temporal compression, a shift in how time is perceived. Days feel more contained, more intentional, less sprawling. You are not overwhelmed by the open-ended expanse of a long summer day. The frame is smaller, and everything inside it feels more deliberate. And aesthetically, winter darkness is simply more interesting. Dramatic skies, stars appearing before dinner, warm light glowing from windows against dark, empty streets. There is a melancholy quality to it that summer cannot replicate. It is atmospheric, considered quieter in tone. For people who are drawn to reflection, it is the most visually honest season. The darkness is not an absence of something good. It is a presence in its own right. Here is perhaps the deepest reason winter resonates with certain people. It offers permission to rest, and that permission has become genuinely rare. Modern life demands consistent output regardless of season. Same energy, same productivity, same social availability in January as in July. But that expectation has no basis in how humans actually evolved. For most of human history, winter meant conservation. You stayed close, slowed down, consumed less, moved less, and did not apologize for it because the entire community was doing the same thing. Winter people are still honoring that rhythm, even if the rest of the culture has forgotten it existed. Loving winter means understanding that rest is not a failure state. It means recognizing that some of the most meaningful internal work, thinking, processing, simply being present with your own thoughts, requires conditions that summer actively works against. For people who already carry some guilt about needing alone time to function well, winter removes that guilt entirely. You are not being difficult. You are responding to the season. You are doing what humans were shaped to do. So what does it actually say about you if winter is your season? It says you value depth over stimulation. It says you understand that comfort is a legitimate form of richness, not a consolation prize. It says you are at ease with darkness, the literal kind, and the quieter internal kind. It says you do not need the sun's approval to feel good about how you are spending your time. In a culture that continuously demands more, louder, faster, and brighter, that orientation is not a limitation. It is a form of clarity. So the next time someone asks how you could possibly enjoy this season, you can tell them it is not in spite of the cold and the dark. It is because of them. Winter people are not waiting for life to resume in spring. We are already living it, just more quietly than everyone else. If this resonated, the description has resources and planners built for this slower, more intentional approach to daily life. And the next video goes further into this way of thinking. See you there.